FGA just released the Login API, and I'm here to tell you how to use it. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Carla. I'm a senior developer advocate at Auth0, and I'm here to tell you all about the new Login API for Auth0 FGA. Now, this Login API is actually very powerful and it's going to allow you to do some very interesting queries and searches around everything that is going on in your Auth0 FGA instance. So we're going to start by going to the FGA dashboard. Right now, I have a very simple model created here. I have users and docs can have owners and viewers. I took some time to create a bunch of tuples, and by took some time, I mean that I created a script to do it for me. Now, the first thing you need to do in order to enable this new login information is you're going to go to settings. And if you don't have an authorized client created yet, you're going to create a new one. When you create a new client, you're going to define a new name for it, and you're going to define the permissions for that client. Now, the most important for us right now is to search logs. You're going to enable that, and you're going to create the client. I already have one, so I'm going to use that one. I have this RAG Python app that I'm using. Information, you're going to get a client ID and a client secret, and make sure you save those for later when we're going to connect to this API. Now, what is this API all about? It really kind of looks like this. It allows you to get information about the logs, and that can help you with things like security, monitoring, and compliance, and all sorts of things. This is mainly an API call that you're going to make to Auth0 FGA, and you're going to get a response with all of this information. You will see information about the request, the duration, the client ID, the model, the actor, meaning who did this request, the IP address, and so on and so forth. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about what parameters you can pass to this endpoint. First of all, you can define a date range for how long you want to filter those logs. So for example, let's say you want to run this every night. And so you can get the daily logs of everything and then do the query that you need to do. The page size and the continuation token. But the most interesting one for me right now is the query. And this query allows you to use to do a search criteria using the Lucene-like syntax. So for example, you can learn more about this syntax here, but it's very powerful in terms that it allows you to make fuzzy search. It allows you to make queries using operators like and or, and so on and so forth. So you can learn more about it in the official documentations over here. I might leave you the link in the video description. Let's look at an example. The first thing you need to do after you've enabled the logs in your authorized client in the dashboard is you need to get an access token. With that access token, you can now start making requests to the Login API. So that's the first step that you're going to do. How do I make that access token? Similarly to how we usually do it, you're going to make a request to the token endpoint. And this URL here is basically the FGA API URL, which you can check in the settings here. You will have it always here in the settings. And exchange your client ID and your client secret for a token. Once you have the token, we are going to proceed to, make different requests. So I took some time to build a small Python sample to show you how this would look like, kind of like in real life. And this is what it looks like. So the first thing that I'm doing, like I said, I enable this on the dashboard, and now I need a token. So I'm requesting a token in exchange for my credentials, and I'm saving that token in this kind of like configuration variable that I'm using to get the logs later. The next thing that I'm doing, this is a helper function so I can show you the equivalent in curl. And here's where I'm fetching the logs. So I'm making a query, I'm passing the start time, end time, the limit, and the query. As you can see, here's where I'm making the request, or starting to build the request, I would say, and where I'm passing the query. Now, what I'm doing here is doing some pretty, I would say, simple analytics. So I'm counting how many log entries I have. I'm counting I implemented something to get, okay, how many checks have been done, how many writes have been done, and get information about a specific user. If we look at the, how I define this, that's pretty much what we're doing. So I can do things as like this one. I'm doing this query. Yeah, I want all the tuples where the user is user 1, and I'm saying the IP address is this value, and I'm also saying I want you to count all the checks and I want you to count all the tuple writes. This is not functionality for the API per se. This is just interesting numbers that I'm getting just because I have all the log information. I can do what I want with it, like count things. I don't know. Okay, so now we're gonna run this and we're going to see that I was authenticated. I'm printing the access token that I'm getting, and then I'm fetching the logs from yesterday until today with this filter that I'm passing, and I'm printing the curl command so you see what I'm requesting. And this is basically saying, okay, you got 16 entries, there were 0 write operations and 16 check operations for that specific user. Now I'm going to change the user. I'm going to remove the IP address part just because why not? Just make a bigger search. And I'm going to change the user for Carla. And so here I would say, very similarly, I think when I created them all with like 16. I don't know why, it's just like that number. But I got more or less that information. Now let's say instead of checking for the tuple key user, I want to check for the actor ID. And we're going to talk about the actor ID in just a second. Actor ID. But for the actor ID, we can pass it like this, I think. So in this case, the actor ID, I have 27 log entries, 3 write operations, 16 check operations. You're probably wondering, what do you mean by actor ID? And I'm going to take you back quickly to the documentation because I think it's easier to see it here. Basically, whenever you are making requests, you can now add this information as a custom header. So you're going to add the FGA actor ID, and that will be returned in the request.actorID field, and similarly for the IP address and the correlation ID. And this will allow you to do more powerful searches and overall improve the understanding that you have about your data in general. So this was a quick example of what can you do with the information that the Login API for Auth0 FGA is given to you. Let me know any other uses in the comments, and I hope this was useful for you. Thank you for watching.